So you've done everything that you needed to do to earn a C, and now you're ready to move on and you want to be able to earn at least a B. So we're going to move on to page 2 and start with number 1 in the to earn a B area. And it says step 1, everything listed in the C category plus the following items. And step 2, modify the fields in your tables as shown. So let's go to the first table and open it. And I'm going to actually open it in Design View, and I'll use each one in Design View as I go through them. So I need to create captions for each field and descriptions for each field. So for Coach ID, and I just keep going through. Coach title and team ID. The reason that I do this is so that in the description area it allows someone, if 10 years down the road, although I'm sure there'll be changes between now and then, but if you win the lottery and you run off to go play on the Caribbean, someone coming in needs to understand what your field names mean. And you may have something rather cryptic in your field name, so your description lets someone else know what it stands for. And in the caption area, that's what shows up in if someone hovers over something so that you can see. So you want to just go in and create a caption for each item and a description for each item. And you'll do this for each one of your tables. Since this is just showing you, I'm not going to do it for each table, but you will need to in order to earn your full grade. Once you've got that done, you can close your tables and move to the next step, assuming that you've got all of your tables done. And modify the coach's query created in step 3 of the C area as shown. Add an additional criteria to also show bench coaches. So we're going to go into our query, double click to open it, go into Design View, and instead of just having first base, now we're going to add bench coaches. Or actually I think it's just bench. Let's verify. Run. Yep, and it's bench. Step 4, import the state abbreviation table, if not already done. Well, I've already got it imported. It's right here, and I can close my query. Step 5, modify the sponsors table to include a lookup area using the lookup wizard. So I want to open my sponsors table, and once I have that open, then I'm going to go into Design View. And first step, delete state area created in step 6 of previous session. So sponsor state, delete row. Next, add a new field area and set the data type as lookup wizard. So in the same spot, so I'm going to insert a row, and I'm going to say sponsor state. Only instead of text, I'm going to click on the down arrow and go all the way to the bottom for lookup wizard. And I want the lookup field to get the values from another table because that's the table state abbreviation that I already have. So I say next, and the table that I'm going to pull my values from is table state abbreviation, and next, and there's only one field, and I do want it ascending, and then I want to narrow it so that it just fits. And then it wants me to name the label sponsor state abbreviation. And finish. Adjust the order of the fields to show sponsor state after sponsor city, if not already in place. Well, we already have it there, so we're set. And then we're going to go and view in Datasheet View. And now we're going to enter the sponsor state for each entry. And we're going to do that by clicking on the down arrow and finding the appropriate state. And Tempe, Arizona, and Vancouver, Washington. There we go. Okay. And that finishes that table, so we can close that one. Step 6, modify the form created in Step 5. So let's open up our form. We're going to change the header to read Coach's Information. So we go Home, that way we can change the view, and we're going to go to Design View. Right now it reads Form Coaches, so we're going to change that to read Coach's Information. Oops, and then we read on and we see we want capital letters. And I want to adjust the width so it all fits on one row. So I'm going to, you see how I clicked on the item so that it gets the orange outline, and then there's a little dot here right in the middle, and I'm going to hover my mouse over it. See how it changes shape as I get to that? And then if I hold down, I can drag, and it asks me to center the heading, so I'm just going to pull it all the way across and then go Home and Center. I'm also going to adjust the vertical header spacing to fit the header, because right now it's really too large. So as you'll notice here, I have the same option right in the middle. It changes shape, and I can drag this up. And it says to about 1/2 inch in height, and there I am. Then I come back and I grab my bottom and I drag it back up. Now it says modify coach first name and coach last name to show on one line. So I'm going to come here. Oops, I don't want to drag that. I want to grab my first name and I want it to be about 1/2 the size. And I need to grab my coach first name text, and I need to grab coach last name. Okay, so now I can drag this up and it should line up. You may have to use your control key to get it to line up correctly. If you hold your, just as an FYI, if you're moving things around, using your up and down arrow or your left right arrow moves a full pixel. If you hold your control key down, it moves 1/2 a pixel, so you're able to get more control over the finished layout. And it says verify that needed information shows correctly, and I'm going to go ahead and put a space between coach first and coach last and coach title. And I'm going to get you out of the way. Then I'm going to drag this up because I don't need all of this extra space since I made this smaller. And I can make my whole form smaller as a result. At any time I can go in and look at the form view, and I see that I want to drag this up a little bit more. So I go back to my design view and I drag that up. I think that might be a little too high. And I just keep playing with it until it's the way I want it. Much better. As an FYI, you don't want to change these areas. That's where the data is pulled into. The area up above is the label of the item, and you can change that, and that makes it easy for your end user to be able to read. But you don't want to change the information that's going to be put in, because it needs to match what shows in your table so that it can pull in correctly. Once you've made sure everything is laid out correctly, then you've completed everything that you need in order to earn a B.